Today, we're diving straight into a literal 2,000-year-old detective story that absolutely rewrites the history of human technology. We're going to uncover the secrets of the world's oldest analog computer. This is a device that, if you look at conventional history, well, it simply shouldn't exist. But it does, and it proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that ancient engineering was way more advanced than we ever dared to imagine.
So, picture this. What if you found a functioning piece of highly complex technology that predates the tools needed to build it by about 1,500 years? That's the exact mystery we're tackling today. Imagine holding this intricate, geared machine that perfectly calculates the cosmos, yet it was built over a millennium before the earliest known European mechanical clocks. It's effectively like digging up a functioning modern smartphone buried deep in the ruins of a medieval castle. Let's look at exactly how this impossible artifact actually came to light.
Part 1. A Storm and a Shipwreck.
The story actually kicks off back in the spring of 1900. A crew of Greek sponge divers from the island of Symi had to drop anchor near the small, rocky island called Antikythera. They're basically just trying to hide out from a really violent Mediterranean storm. Once the weather finally cleared, they dove down, about 45 meters, and stumbled upon a massive Roman cargo shipwreck dating all the way back to the 1st century BC. And among the wreckage they pulled up to the surface were these 82 highly corroded, greenish fragments of bronze.
Now, this shipwreck was an absolute treasure trove. I mean, we're talking luxury goods, beautiful glassware, ancient coins, and these breathtaking marble and bronze statues. So, amidst all that undeniable ancient wealth, this unassuming, heavily corroded lump of bronze, it was largely ignored. It was just treated as this unremarkable oddity sitting quietly in a dusty cupboard at the National Archaeological Museum in Athens for months, totally overshadowed by the spectacular artwork salvaged alongside it. But as we now know, that rock was hiding a massive secret, right in plain sight.
Moving on to Part 2, The Mystery in the Bronze.
Cut to May 1902. Archaeologist Valerio Stasis is examining the fragments, and he makes an observation that absolutely stops him in his tracks. He notices a precision gear wheel embedded right inside the heavily corroded rock of what we now call Fragment A. It was a completely shocking discovery. At the time, historians believed ancient Greeks only had access to very basic, rudimentary tools. Literally, no one had ever considered that precision gear wheels, the exact kind of delicate mechanics you'd find inside a modern Swiss watch, could possibly exist in antiquity.
But as you can see, cracking this case wasn't exactly an overnight thing. It took over a century of escalating tech to finally begin decoding the machine's true purpose. After the initial discovery in 1901, progress completely stalled out for decades, mostly because you couldn't see inside the rock without destroying it. It wasn't until the 1970s that physicist Derek de Solla Price started using early X-rays to peer inside. Then, we get a massive breakthrough in 2005 using modern 3D microfocus CT scans. And just recently, in 2021, a team from University College London finally decoded the intricate planetary gear rings that had been baffling scientists for 100 years.
Which brings us to Part 3, Decoding the Cosmos.
Just look at the staggering contrast here. When you compare the battered, dark remains of the fragments to the stunning digital reconstructions created by researchers, the leap in our understanding is just incredible. Originally, this complex mechanism wasn't a lump of rock at all. It was actually housed in this beautiful wooden box about the size of a mantle clock or a standard shoebox. It featured brilliant bronze front and back covers, and the whole thing was loaded with precise dials, pointers, and incredibly detailed inscriptions.
And those 2005 CT scans? A total game changer. Imagine uncovering a complex piece of alien technology only to find the user manual hidden right inside. That is literally what happened here. Researchers discovered over 3,500 characters of explanatory text buried deep within the corrosion. This built-in manual described a stunning cosmos display with a pointer for the sun and a complex ring system using marker beads for the moon and the 5 planets known to the Greeks at the time. All of it operating on the exact astronomical cycles of their known universe.
To truly appreciate the sheer genius of this machine, we really have to zero in on this specific number, 462. Using the ancient mathematical methods of the philosopher Parmenides, that 2021 team proved the device calculated a highly accurate 462-year cycle for the planet Venus and a 442-year cycle for Saturn. Think about the engineering flex required here. They somehow managed to condense these massive, highly complex planetary tracking periods into incredibly compact gear mechanisms. They mathematically minimized the number of gears needed so the whole shebang could fit perfectly inside a simple shoebox-sized bronze case.
All right, part 4, the world's first computer.
Now, when we say computer today, our brains immediately go to microchips, screens, and electricity, right? But by definition, the Antikythera Mechanism was an analog computer. So instead of digital signals, it processed continuously varying data through intricate physical mechanical parts. This device is widely considered to be the world's very first analog computer. It literally translated these advanced, abstract cosmological theories into applied mechanical engineering, something a person could actually touch, operate, and learn from.
And the workflow of this computer was incredibly elegant. For your data input, you simply turned a hand crank located right on the side of the box. Inside, for the processing, over 30 interlocking bronze gears immediately started crunching the math. The specific ratio of the teeth on these gears acted as physical algorithms. Then, for the output, the front and back dials gave you the exact celestial time. You could literally wind the mechanism backward into the past or forward into the future to get a precise visual readout of the sky for absolutely any given date.
The sheer volume of data this box pumped out is just mind-blowing. It mapped planetary orbits, calculated agricultural seasons, and even scheduled the ancient Olympic Games. But get this, one of the most mathematically profound elements was its physical pin and slot mechanism. The Greeks knew the moon's orbit was elliptical, meaning it speeds up when it's closer to Earth and slows down when it's further away. This physical machine actually replicated that varying speed mechanically. It also utilized the 223-month Saros cycle to predict the exact timing and characteristics of solar and lunar eclipses years in advance. Just unbelievable.
Finally, part 5,
Rewriting ancient history.
As researchers have pointed out, the Antikythera mechanism is really a physical manifestation of the mechanical universe. That's the ideological perspective that the cosmos operates deterministically, according to underlying mathematical laws. See, the ancient Greeks weren't just passively stargazing. They were actively proving that the universe itself is a giant machine governed by predictable, mechanical rules. They took the brilliant abstract theories of minds like Hipparchus and Archimedes and translated them into a tangible, working model of reality.
But here is the real tragedy of it all. The knowledge required to build something this miraculous, it sank right to the bottom of the ocean, along with that Roman cargo ship. And astonishingly, similar astronomical clocks of this incredible complexity wouldn't reappear in Europe for another 1,500 years, eventually showing up in the 14th century. It's a deeply humbling reminder that scientific progress isn't always a straight line upward. Sometimes massive technological leaps are simply lost to time, tide, and human tragedy.
Which leaves us with this final, pretty provocative thought. If human knowledge is fragile enough that we could literally lose a functioning computer for 15 centuries, what other mysteries are still waiting in the dark? What other impossible technologies are lying buried in the sand or sitting at the bottom of the sea, just waiting for the right storm to bring them back up to the surface?